Why did Bill Nye say that critical thinking is the most important skill for young people to develop? And who reviews all of the news and posts that we see on our social media feeds? What is the right amount of social media that is good for our mental health? I'm Dr. E.T., and this is Ed on EdTech. I was at the California EdTech Professionals Association conference with our partner ClearTouch, and a lot of our keynotes were very focused on the need to teach critical thinking in school. But why is this so important when AI automatically checks everything that we post? Sarah Roberts had some eye-opening insights into the people who are responsible for reviewing our social media feeds. So wait, you're telling me that what Mark Zuckerberg is saying isn't quite exactly the truth?
I'm saying that a lot of the platforms that we use every day, whether it's Facebook or whether it's something that seems as benign and neutral as Google search, which is literally a white box that you just type into, has all sorts of complex socio-cultural and political values baked in no small part because they're associated with economics and particularly with revenue generation. But if we think about that apparatus, that policy apparatus in a bigger picture, we're really talking about a platform's value system or its politics. People who were working as these kinds of content evaluators were located actually all over the world. So the first group I encountered and became aware of was actually located in agricultural central Iowa. You mentioned the Philippines. That is a hugely important hub for this kind of work and for other kinds of outsourced knowledge work, particularly in the context of the United States and North America because of many, many decades of long-standing relationships, let's put it, between the U.S. and the Philippines. The U.S., of course, occupied the Philippines for most of the 20th century. Young people who are trying to navigate these spaces that are filled with tons of garbage. The more sophisticated our teachers can be and our librarians can be about this ecosystem, the better prepared we are to help our young people navigate and really understand what's good and what's not so good about the information landscape they're in.
Despite the advances in AI, much of the content on the internet is still evaluated by people under increasing time pressure. And what this means is that for us viewers, it's up to us to determine whether or not the content that we see and evaluate if it's true or not. So how should teachers and parents teach this skill? I had a chance to speak with CyberWise author Diana Graeber about how to build this foundation and what is the right amount of social media.
Right. When they talk about kids being depressed online, it's like a bell curve, you know what I mean? So the kids who are online too much are depressed, but the kids who are online not at all are depressed too because you're cutting them off from their connection with their peers. Those kids are equally as depressed. It's called the Goldilocks hypothesis. It's really interesting. There's a sweet spot, and it's somewhere like around 2 hours per day. They found that those kids have the best well-being. What I talk about is raising a human in a digital world is kind of like building a house. It can't be done overnight. It's a long project. I advise parents to start with a strong foundation of social and emotional skills. We forget that that's what digital literacy is learning how to be a good human offline first and taking those skills into the online world. Yeah, and that's the thing, like when I do these parent talks, they want the quick fix. And there is no quick fix when it comes to the digital world. No one said parenting was going to be easy, and raising a digital human is even harder. There's a lot that they need to be prepared to encounter when they go online.
Diana advocates for having crucial conversations around being cyber wise, and I'd recommend checking out also some of the ISTE standards regarding digital citizenship available on snow.live, specifically evaluating news sources, protecting your digital footprint, and personal versus private information. Scaling teaching practices like critical thinking using online tools can be difficult if we don't know how technology is approved. Okay, so today I'm headed to the California Education Technology Professional Association's conference in Anaheim, in LA. And I'm pretty excited about this conference because this is the first conference that I've attended that is mainly focused on EdTech professionals like IT directors and policymakers. There's lots of processes that are important for ensuring that you get the best out of the EdTech that you have available.
We have a teacher, a principal, and then we talk about how that's going to impact the classroom. That's the very first thing. Once we do that piece, and it's something that we find that it's going to be actually beneficial for our students, we work through some type of pilot program. So,
like in the class.
In the classroom. So we get, usually it's 1 or 2 teachers that will do the pilot for us. We do go through maybe a 2 or 3 month process, depending on what that EdTech adoption is going to be. Sometimes it requires more time. And then at that point, we come back to the table as a team and we go over the, what worked, what didn't work, what was the student engagement piece, and would go to the administrator and the board to allocate funding for that.
How would you use technology to build critical thinking skills? Please leave a comment below. And if you're interested in more tips on how you can use technology in education, please subscribe and click the bell. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next one.